They're all big, but that was a game that, first of all, it was an honor to coach these guys today, and it is every day. But like I told them, I knew last night when we were watching film that they were locked in, and they were locked in at Perth too, you know. But it's just one of those things, you know. It happens, and Perth was better than us that night, just like we were better than Sydney tonight. And this league goes back and forth quite a lot, as you can see. But they're we have a hell of a group of guys here, win or lose. They're good players and good people, and I enjoy my time around them much more than they do around me. But
Do you feel like that start, you jumped in 20 to 9, it would set the tone for the ball game?
well, you know, I think when the starting team, even though we had two guys that hadn't been starting, start tonight, when they establish the floors, we say on the board, how we're going to live that day on that 90 by 50 in the first few minutes, it helps a great deal. But when it doesn't happen, it doesn't mean that you're doomed to fail, you know. So I was glad it happened for sure.
The Bigs did a great job covering up for David. Majuk and Devon did some really nice work on the boards, and you dominated the glass. Particularly, you had a sequence down there. I think you had 3 or 4 offensive rebounds in a row, so that you had to be really pleased with that.
Yeah, everybody, you know, we call it gang rebounding. You know, everybody's got a rebound. Guards, bigs. The two young bigs, they work so hard every day. It's about time. You know, they got a little bit of candy, you know, for all their effort.
Chris, it's been a bit of a tough run for you guys early in the season. I mean, do you feel like this is the Perth game was a game you could have won, and then you come into this environment and win off a 5-hour road trip, you know, with less than a day to recover? I mean, could this be a turning point, you think, in the season for you?
Oh, I mean, who knows the way this league is? I mean, it's crazy. Um, we were the cellar dwellers this morning. I don't know. We might still be. Um, but a big win like that, especially down Dave, I don't think the stats probably do him justice as to what he brings to this team. He's double teamed almost every time he gets the ball. He creates amazing mismatches for this team. So to be without him and come up against a quality team, um, everyone chipped in the right way. So we wish we can get him back soon. Turning point, who knows? I mean, we just got to keep fighting. We got to string wins together and try and move up this ladder. The lucky thing is, a couple of wins can take you to the top. The bad thing is, a couple of wins, or a couple of losses, or one loss, and you're sliding like snakes and ladders.
You've got you've developed seems like a great relationship already with Casper. I mean, how much has he brought to this unit aside from the obvious?
Oh, I mean, he's a killer. You got to appreciate that. So, anytime you can bring a guy in of his caliber, I think everyone's accepted him from day one. But it's about how he goes about his game that appeals to everyone. He defends the basketball at a high level, and he's very, very tough to guard on the other end. So, I mean, we're still getting to know his game. He's still getting to know us. So, hopefully, we can move on up from here.
We good?
Thanks,
Thank you.
That's the easiest one I've ever done.
Yeah, it was pretty easy. It's me, mate. You know. Good on you, brother. dug yourselves an early hole, similar in some respects to Cairns, and had your fight back again. I mean, the team showed great resiliency as it always does, but ultimately Golding and Ware hit 10 threes between them, and it's probably the difference in the game.
Yeah, it was. They played really well. They shot the ball really well, and some of the times they were making shots against very good defence, and some of the times our defence broke down, and they made some open shots. The problem that we had is we weren't able to take away either the three ball, the on ball action, or the roll up. We're getting beaten both areas. And because of that, you start second-guessing yourself, you start second-guessing your strategy, you're trying to find different combinations. There's those elements to it that we weren't able to solve the problem to. And to the guys' credit, they fought it out, they didn't quit, made some shots down the stretch, and then we get it back to 4 with 1:40 or whatever it is to go, and again, symbolic of our game, Chris Golding just goes from a metre beyond the three-point line, almost untouched, and gets a layup. So we clearly didn't manage that well, and ultimately you give them a lot of credit. They made shots. Some of those shots are tough shots, and they are a very, very talented team, and they were good enough to make it. Without David Anderson in there, it really does spread the floor a lot. And our rotations on limited preparation is not an excuse, because they had the same preparation, but when we've had time to prepare for teams, we've been pretty good. You know, strategically, we've been able to put in place how we're going to do those things. But all we had since Cairns was a video review. We looked at Melbourne United, we came up with our strategy, and clearly it didn't. I think you sometimes ask, well, was it the strategy or was it the execution? And probably a bit of both.
Did you feel like the team was flat coming out? Obviously, you mentioned that Melbourne had the same issues, obviously coming off that big road trip of their own, but it just seemed like the guys took quite a while to kind of
Yeah.
find stride.
I don't think we were flat. I think what happened early on, we missed some shots that we normally make. We were 1 of 10 in the first quarter and a bit from the three-point line. And even with that, the start of the second quarter, we came out and we got 5 up, and you think things are back on track, but we could never really find our rhythm offensively as far as putting the ball in the hole. A lot of the times we're getting some good looks and shots that we want guys to take, but we weren't able to make them. And that puts a lot of pressure on your defense, and they were making them and playing with great confidence. And when you're missing those shots and not getting the reward sometimes for your good play, you got a little tentative. You start to think, well, should I, shouldn't I? Geez, we're missing these shots, and your confidence does suffer a little bit. But I think that I give them a lot of credit for the way in which they played, the way in which they defended, and we weren't good enough to solve those problems.
Truck, one of the things Drew's been talking about quite a lot of late is the giving up so many offensive boards. You gave up 14 tonight. There was a sequence where I think they had about 3 or 4 in a row. What are you guys trying to do to kind of address that situation? Because Drew sort of brought it up a couple of times.
Yeah, I think we're just trying to make it a habit in practice, out of practice, mentally, physically. And a few times tonight we got stops. We had the ball in our hand and somehow we just fumbled it. Like, the ball's always there somewhere around, but we just can't seem to get a grasp of it and push it forward like we want to. But we just got to keep doing that in practice and make it a habit, something you don't think about. You just got to do it.
When you've looked good offensively, a lot of it has to do with ball movement. Did you think the ball stuck a few too many times tonight? Didn't move to the open shooters? You had some great looks.
We had great looks. We ran our stuff. At times, things got stagnant. Maybe sort of second-guessed ourselves. But, it's not what we want to do. We're a team that moves the ball and pushes it, and we play off our defence.
And Drew was sort of talking about jokingly at Illawarra the fact that the team had all these doubles. I think you'd had 4 doubles. And now you played the most games by far than anybody else in the league. I mean, you're going to come to a situation where you're going to have 1 game a week. I mean, how big is that going to be to get that preparation that Drew talks about?
the schedule is as it is. I mean, it's part of being a professional athlete in any sport. I mean, sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't. You just got to take it game by game and take everybody on and off the court and approach every game like it's the last one. I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, as tough as the league it is, from top to bottom, what's 2 games that separates it? There's no gimmies, there's no days off. So every day, every game is a must-win.
I was going to say, Andrew, Chris Goulding described the NBL ladder as snakes and ladders. Is that a fair description?
Well, it is. It's tough. We have an advantage in that we've been fortunate enough to get 10 wins, and we've got a couple more wins than the other teams. But that's really just on the basis we've played more games. A couple of other teams pick up wins, and at the same time, after 17 games, we'd probably be tied or in a bit of a race. We've still got 2 more this coming weekend. We've got a double against Adelaide, away home, and they're playing great. So it's a tough one. They beat us here at our place. They've found their mojo. It's going to be tough for us. We've got a few days to prepare. Rest is important, getting our bodies right, because we've been playing some guys a lot of minutes, big minutes. And I think it starts to tell after a while when you're playing those types of minutes. Physically, it can take its toll. So we've got to try and freshen up our body. I think also freshen up the mind as well, because you get to that point in the season, and when it's so tight and every game is so hard, it's hard work. And although we try to talk about being professional and being committed, when you're actually out there in the battle and you're a bit sore and you only need to be off the game ever so slightly, and you're going to be in some problems. You're going to run into some problems. So it's something that we got to figure out. It's something we've got to look at and say, well, how can we do things a little bit better? Because there is no margin for error.
Julian's status, I know you'd hope to have him for this weekend. You confident that he'll be able to come up for next week?
No. It's really a wait and see. A couple of weeks ago, I thought I was really confident the way he was training. He's had a minor setback, and that needs a bit more time to evaluate and make sure that we don't risk any further injury, because he's come so far, and it's been so long that it's almost to a point you don't want to jeopardise all the great work and all the rehabilitation he's gone through trying to rush him back now. So I'm not sure what the rules are. I think you've got to play 8 games. I'm not sure how it is for injured players. We need to check that out. But quite clearly, he would be a good guy to have to come back into the group with his experience. But he's missed a lot of basketball. You take 12 months off, it takes a little while to get your rhythm back as well. And as yet, I don't know. I don't think he's had a full training session. So I think you need a week or two of full training at this level, because the intensity is so high. You need a bit of training. So it's a really, really, really long answer to when the simple answer is, I don't know.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks, mate.
No worries.